Okay, so we get to introduce something new to you, and they're called factorials. So we're going to talk about factorial notation. So factorial notation is written like this. You have a number, and the number has to be positive and it has to be an integer. So n is positive integer. I'll give you a better definition in a minute. And we're going to talk about n factorial. So say the n factorial is, this is the notation right there. It's an exclamation point. So it's like math, really exciting math. I always feel a little weird using the exclamation point because it's like, I said we'd use 4, right? 4 factorial, like it's super exciting. Okay, but it has a meaning, and what it means is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And you stop at 1, so you don't keep going, but it means that value. So 4 factorial can be calculated by going 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 12 times 2, which is 24. Okay, so that's how you do it. 5 factorial. Well, that's going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. We always put the 1. Of course, anything times 1 is just going to be that thing, but we still always put it. Okay, now you could say, hey, that's 5 times 4 factorial, which it is. So you could just go 5 times 24 and figure that out. Or what I like to do a lot of times is I'll go 5 times 2 is 10, and then this is 12, so it's going to be 120. Those are just some examples. Of course, you could have something like 23 factorial, and that would be really long and complicated to figure out. But some calculators have factorial buttons, but anyway, we're not going to have really long ones like that. Really, this is just an introduction to a new symbol in math, and it's called a factorial. I don't think we're going to use it a lot because we don't get to do all of chapter 9. But if you go on and you take probability courses, you'll use factorials. They're used a lot in what are called permutations and combinations. And like I said, I loved my probability class. We just don't have enough time to go through all the math in this semester. Okay, so just a couple things about factorials. Oh, one, they can write formulas like recursive formulas or explicit formulas with a factorial. So say you have a formula a sub n equals n plus 1 factorial, like that. And you want to find a sub 6. Well, then you could say it's 6 plus 1 factorial, which is 7 factorial, which is, let me use a lot of space here, 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And sometimes we do like to write them out. There's a reason for that. But like I said, I don't know how much factorial work we're really going to see. This we already have done. It's 120. So, and I could say, well, 7 times 6 is 42. And now I just have a little bit to put in my calculator. So I can do that. 42 times 120, which is 5,040. Okay, so that was exciting. And that, in this case, we were finding a sub 6, right? Okay, so we were finding a term in a sequence. All right, so a little bit more about the definition of factorials. First of all, 1 factorial is equal to 1. So that probably seems pretty natural and not too surprising. 0 factorial is also equal to 1. That might seem weird, but we have to do that in order to use it for, like I said, we use it in other math. So by definition, these two things hold. Okay, so now I'm going to give you kind of an abbreviated formal definition here. So we have n, and n is a positive integer. And we say the definition is the first 0 factorial, which isn't even a positive integer, but 0 factorial is equal to 1. 1 factorial is equal to 1. And then n factorial, so any number after 1, is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2, dot, 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 until you get to 2 and then 1. So you keep doing that, your integers, you keep decreasing them. You're going to multiply all of these together, and then the last one you're going to have is going to be 1. And this holds true for n greater than or equal to 2. Now, like I said, you can use a calculator. Some calculators actually have a button with the exclamation point, a factorial button. Great, I've seen that. I believe our scientific calculators on campus have one. I don't have that. I have a little blue Texas Instrument calculator. It's about $12. It has this button though, and I thought, oh, it doesn't have a factorial button. It doesn't have a factorial button, but it does have PRB, which I'm sure is for probability. If I can push that button, it gives me the choice to do a factorial. So, but a lot of them you can just do by hand. I'm not going to give you some like 50 factorial or something to figure out. And probably, you might have one question like this on the test, but it'll be a fun question. So remember what a factorial is. We'll use it in the next example.